Former Southampton and England forward Rickie Lambert announced his retirement from football this week. Something of a late bloomer, Lambert impressed at Rochdale and Bristol Rovers, but didn't make his Premier League debut until the age of 30 with Southampton. He won his first England cap at 31, but his career fell off a cliff in 2014 following a move to his boyhood club Liverpool. That got us thinking, which players have had some of the most dramatic falls from grace following a transfer? Here are 7 players who changed clubs and fell off the map. Alexander Hleb to Barcelona. Former Stuttgart man Alexander Hleb must surely regret his 2008 transfer from Arsenal to Barcelona. The Belarusian attacking midfielder, who's also capable of playing as a winger, went from being a crucial player at the Emirates, where he played 129 games in 3 seasons, to being at best a bit part player at the Camp Nou, where he made only 19 league appearances in 4 years. The move saw Hleb fall right off the map, and his next permanent transfer was to SC Krylia Sovetov Samara of Russia, followed by former club Bate Borisov in his native Belarus. Aged 36, Hleb has become something of a journeyman in recent years, and most recently played in the Russian second tier. Neri Castillo to Shakhtar Donetsk. Setting records as the most expensive player signed by a Ukrainian club and the most expensive footballer to hail from Mexico, Neri Castillo's €20 million move from Olympiacos to Shakhtar Donetsk in 2007 was a big one. It also proved to be a disastrous one, from the viewpoint of both the player and the club. In the 4 years Castillo spent contracted to Shakhtar, he was loaned out 4 times, playing a grand total of 18 games for the club, just 12 coming in the league, and scoring 2 goals in all competitions. Castillo was unable to get his career back on track after leaving Shakhtar, despite moves to Greece and Spain's second tier, so he retired in 2014 at the age of 30. Igor Belanov to Borussia Mönchengladbach. One of only 3 Soviet players to win the Ballon d'Or, Igor Belanov was a fine attacking midfielder who played his best football for Dynamo Kiev and the Soviet national team. In 1986, Belanov won the Soviet League, the European Cup Winners' Cup, and was one of the standout players at the 1986 World Cup, scoring 4 goals and assisting 6. Achievements which saw him see off the likes of Gary Lineker and Michel Platini to win that year's Ballon d'Or. Having been previously forbidden from leaving the Soviet Union, in 1989 he was finally given permission, but at age 29 the move was not a success. In 2 years at Borussia Mönchengladbach, Belanov played just 27 games, scoring only 5 goals. He dropped down to the German second tier before returning to the Ukraine, but could never quite recapture his pre-90s form. Mateja Kezman to Chelsea. It's all too easy to forget just how talented Mateja Kezman appeared to be prior to and at the time of his move to Chelsea in 2004. The 25-year-old had scored 105 goals in 122 league games for PSV, making him one of the most potent forwards in Europe. At Chelsea though, things just never quite clicked. The 2003 Dutch Footballer of the Year spent only a season at Stamford Bridge, managing a mere 4 goals in 25 league outings. He rediscovered some form at Fenerbahce, but his career, for the most part, petered out, and he retired in 2012, aged 32, after a spell in Hong Kong. Thomas Brolin to Leeds United. Arguably one of the best attacking midfielders in world football in the early 1990s, Thomas Brolin had great success with Parma and Sweden, winning 4 trophies with the former and finishing 3rd at the 1994 World Cup with the latter. Brolin was excellent in the 1994 World Cup, and his performances earned him a 4th place finish in the 1994 Ballon d'Or, behind only Hristo Stoichkov, Paolo Maldini and Roberto Baggio. He joined Leeds in 1995 though, where his career fell apart spectacularly. Unable to recover from injury, Brolin was visibly overweight, and his performances were appalling. He played only 20 league games for the club, before brief failed spells in Switzerland, Italy, Sweden and at Crystal Palace, after which he promptly retired at the age of 28. Neil Franklin to Independiente Santa Fe. A simply world-class defender, Neil Franklin sent shockwaves through the English game when he swapped Stoke City of the Potteries for Independiente Santa Fe of Bogota in 1950, turning down the chance to represent England at the 1950 World Cup in the process. Franklin had fallen out with Stoke City boss Mr. Bob McGrory and was frustrated with the £12 a week maximum wage in England at the time. His time in Colombia spanned just 2 months, with the country at war and providing a huge culture shock for perhaps England's finest ever centre-half. Upon return, he was shunned by both England and Stoke. He still managed to set a world record transfer fee for a defender when he joined 2nd Division Hull City, but played less than 100 games in 5 years in East Yorkshire due to injuries and could never quite get his career back on track. Darko Pancev to Inter Milan. Nicknamed the Cobra in Serbia, Darko Pancev was the 1991 Golden Boot winner as the top scorer in Europe, and widely regarded as one of the finest strikers in the world during the late 1980s and early 1990s. He scored 84 goals in 91 games for Red Star Belgrade, inspiring them to 3 league titles and their first European Cup win in the club's history. Inter Milan signed him for a world record fee in 1992 as a 27-year-old, but the move was an absolute shambles. Inter management felt he was lazy and struggled to compete with Italian defences, while Pancev felt that they didn't understand his game. In 3 years at the club, the player played only 19 league games, scoring just 3 goals. He never recovered his career and retired at the age of 32. So that's it for our top 7. Honourable mentions go to Fernando Redondo and Rivaldo to AC Milan, Lucio to Juventus, and Mario Jardel to Bolton. Let us know your suggestions in the comments. Thanks for watching, give us a like if you enjoyed the video, feel free to check out the other videos on screen now, and make sure to subscribe to HITC Sevens.